Yeah, hi everyone. Welcome. This is part two of the introduction to the pump cycle. As a quick refresher, what the pump cycle is, it's a set of mathematical formulas that can be used in combination with the spiral representation of the number pi to allow users to align all of the Bitcoin price cycles into a mathematical chain of time. And what the user can do is input past cycle lengths to predict how long the next cycle length will take from start to finish. I covered the full cycles on the first video. Where we're going to move on to now are the mid cycles. Starting with the mid-cycle chart tab, what you'll see here is a color-coded chart just like we had in the full cycles. And what I want to do is help people understand, number one, what a mid-cycle is, and number two, how to align it to the spiral key. So with full cycles, we had cycles that ended only in unmistakable blow-off tops. With mid-cycles, one of two things can happen. It's either a new local low for the cycle or it's a new all-time high, but it's not a blow-off top. So I've color coded the chart here accordingly, and I want to help people understand how to position each one of these. So let's start with the red. This is going to be cycle 5 on the full cycles. It's the turquoise cycle. It's broken out into 3 mid cycles, and that's because of how it aligns on the spiral key. If I take a look right here, the turquoise cycle, cycle 5, started right here at 324 degrees at this radius increase, and the full cycle traveled all the way around through 504. What's interesting about this is that when I go from 324 to 360, what I do is I encounter a radius increase from a prior full 360-degree revolution, and you can see the space between this line and this line decreases in radius. That's where I know that there's a mid-cycle boundary on the spiral key. So to align the red section, the red starts at 324 and goes through 360. It ends in a local low, and it just happens to be the bear whale collapse. The next cycle that makes up the purple cycle is going to start at 360 degrees and travel the circumference of the spiral to 468, again, where it encounters a radius increase from a prior 360-degree revolution. The thickness shrinks. That marks the purple cycle, ends in a new all-time high. And then finally, the yellow mid-cycle goes from 468 to 504, where you can see it also encounters a radius increase from the prior 360 degrees. This one just also happens to correlate to the end of the full cycle, which is unique. This is the only one that's done that. And as you can see, this breaks it out. This is a new local low. This is a new all-time high. And you can see the yellow drastically changes its slope of the line. So I feel that this is an extremely accurate representation of a mid-cycle alignment for that particular full cycle. The next is going to be the cycle that we're in now. It's the green cycle on the full cycle chart, cycle number 6. It's broken out into 2 mid-cycles. The first of them ends in a new all-time high in November of 2021. That's modeled here in orange. That started at 504 and it traveled the circumference of the spiral all the way around to 648. Again, radius increase prior 360 degrees. Next up is going to be the pink. Started in November of 21, ended in the FTX collapse of November 2022. It marked a new local low for the cycle. It went from 648 to 684. Again, you can see the prior 360-degree revolution and the cycle thickness on the key shrank. That marks the completion of the mid cycles for the full cycle, because you can see if you travel the full cycle all the way around the spiral until the next radius increase, where the full cycle ends in September of 2026, there's not a corresponding increase from the prior 360-degree revolution. So this is not a mid cycle. This is the completion of a full cycle. The next cycle that's modeled to start after the current cycle will have a mid cycle. If you travel from 828 to 864, you can see the same behavior that I just described. There'll be a mid cycle halfway through the full cycle, which ends at degree position 1260. Down here at the bottom, these are the mid-cycle end dates. You've got your actual, your model, and your difference. As a quick reminder, the data comes from coinmetrics.io, and the difference must stay tight throughout the entire model, or the entire thing is invalidated. Let's move over here to the chart. The chart has the same values as the full cycle. Formulas are exactly the same. However, the key position is what is most important to understand how to align these on the spiral keys. So the first mid-cycle is the red that ended in bear whale. It was 305 days. You can see the model formula right here, and then the difference in days that it took between the model and the in the actual, and that holds true all the way through the FTX collapse, which ended here on 11/9 of 2022. These are the completed mid cycles. The upcoming mid cycles, we still have a ways to go. Those are going to be in future cycles. And then over here, I just put a quick chart of what the completed mid cycle events were for each one of these. 5A was the red cycle. It ends in the bear whale collapse, set a local low. 5B set a new all time high in March of 2017. 5C was the end of that full cycle. 6A was the all time high in November of 2021, but it wasn't a blow off top. 6B is the FTX collapse, sets a new local low in November of 2022. Down here, just some quick verbiage. Mid-cycles occur when the current cycle aligns with the past radius increase from the prior full 360 revolution. I just explained that. I hope that made sense because that's obviously the most critical component of understanding how to align a mid-cycle to the spiral key, and then understanding that not every cycle has a mid-cycle associated with it. You really have to understand the spiral key to understand when the mid-cycles occur. Model formulas are the same. You can go one of two ways. If you're looking to forecast the next cycle length, you use this formula right here, where you take a previous input cycle length combined with radius and section values to calculate that. Over here on the right-hand formula, you can calculate previous cycle lengths using input cycle lengths and radius and section values from prior cycles. So I hope that helps understand what the mid-cycles are and how to align them on the spiral key. I appreciate everyone's time, and I hope this gives a good understanding of what the pump cycle model is, how the formulas work, and how it's able to align all of this, all of the Bitcoin price cycles to a geometrical representation of the number pi. So thanks for your time. Hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye.